Tough news for the XRP community. The SEC has delayed decisions on XRP ETFs. It's no surprise that frustration is echoing across social media, with some even worried this signals bad news, like the SEC might never approve them. But here's the thing. I don't see it that way at all. To me, the crypto war is done and dusted. What we're seeing now with lingering litigation, just tying up loose ends, nothing more. It's all formalities at this point. From President Trump on down, the message is clear. This administration is firmly pro-crypto, and the momentum is on our side. Supporting crypto means pushing for key approvals, and I'm confident that's exactly what's going to happen. But you might ask, why the delay? Don't worry, we're diving into that here too. I'm an optimist on this because honestly, it just feels like the logical stance. And here's the exciting part. Depending on when these approvals happen, they could align perfectly with a bull run. If we're already riding a wave of market euphoria, this could be the spark that ignites an even bigger fire. When it comes to supply and demand dynamics, I'm not thrilled about the immediate short-term impact, but looking ahead to years and decades, that's where the real excitement lies. On another note, BitMEX has been teasing a huge announcement about Ripple and XRP, leaving the XRP community buzzing with anticipation. I covered this cryptic teaser in a video a few days ago. Well, now the mystery is solved and I'll break it all down for you. Plus, there's another story worth celebrating, just how successful XRP futures were on their first day. And before we dive in, just a quick heads up, I'm not a financial professional, just someone who loves diving into this space. This isn't financial advice, so don't make any buy or sell moves based on what I say here. That being said, this was entirely predictable. At least I saw it coming. And it's not just XRP facing the heat. Other ETFs are in the same boat. Here's a headline from Cointelegraph on May 14th. SEC delays Solana ETF as decisions for Polkadot XRP linger. Sound familiar? You should. You might love this news, hate it, or think it's completely unfair. That's your call, and I respect your take either way. But me, I'm not the least bit shocked. Sure, I would have loved a quick approval, but let's be real, they might genuinely need time. Atkins just stepped in as the new SEC chair, and I can only imagine the mountain of tasks waiting for them. Crypto is clearly a big piece of that puzzle, but I truly believe they're taking it seriously. In fact, I'll show you exactly why I think that in just a moment, so hang tight. At the end of the day, this feels pretty standard. There's just a lot on their plate, but I'm confident they'll get to it. It's not more complicated than that. I get the concern here. For over a decade, the SEC has been playing the delay game when it comes to approving a spot Bitcoin ETF. The first one, if I'm remembering right, was filed back in 2013. Pretty sure it was Gemini. Feel free to fact check me, but I'm fairly certain. Since then, it's been the same story. Delay after delay, they stretch it out, taking the process right to the legal limit, only to finally say, nope, not happening. It's like running a race where the finish line keeps moving further away, only to disappear entirely. And then, like clockwork, another filing would roll in, and it was the same old story, the same drawn out back and forth. This cycle dragged on until finally, just over a year ago, a spot Bitcoin ETF got the green light. But honestly, it doesn't seem like there's any sneaky strategy at play here. Here's the latest. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission announced today that it's extending its review period for spot crypto ETF applications from 21 Shares and Grayscale. Formal proceedings are now underway to evaluate the 21 Shares XRP spot ETF, the Grayscale Dogecoin spot ETF. The SEC has paused the original May 21st and May 22nd deadlines to dig deeper into whether these proposals meet Exchange Act Section 6B5 rules designed to prevent fraud and protect investors. 21 Shares Core XRP Trust aims to track the CMEC XRP dollar reference rates while utilizing Coinbase custody for secure storage. Meanwhile, Grayscale's Dogecoin Trust will follow CoinDesk Dogecoin Price Index, and its XRP Trust will align with CoinDesk XRP Price Index. All three ETFs will issue shares in 10,000 share blocks and hold only their respective digital assets. Here's the exciting part. These spot ETFs will be backed by actual XRP, not just paper contracts. This is a game changer for supply and demand dynamics in the XRP ecosystem. Over years and decades, this could have a massive, lasting impact. This isn't just big, it's huge, monumental, a real turning point for crypto. People are snapping up XRP simply to dip their toes into the crypto asset class, something they might not have considered otherwise. On the topic of the XRP ETF delay, Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seifert had some thoughts. According to Seifert, these delays are totally routine and nothing unexpected. Here's what he had to say. A bunch of XRP ETPs have dates in the next few days. If we're going to see early approvals from the SEC on any of these assets, I wouldn't expect them until late June or early July at the absolute earliest. More likely, we'll see movement in early Q4. So no surprises here. The experts know the game, the timelines, and the patience it takes for these approvals to happen. A delay by the SEC doesn't necessarily mean they're shutting the door. Sometimes it's just part of the process, and the wheels are still turning. Under the previous administration, sure, that might have been the case. Absolutely. But with this new pro-crypto leadership, no, that's not what this means at all. I get it, though. I really do. If you're feeling frustrated, I respect that. Believe me, I understand. But I still think the tide is turning. And while I don't claim to know every little detail or all the nitty-gritty logistics behind the scenes, because let's face it, there's a lot happening even outside the crypto world, I'm willing to extend a bit of grace here. Why? Because I truly believe this: the war on crypto is over. I'm not saying that lightly. I genuinely believe we've reached a turning point. For the first time in history, we've got an SEC chair who's pro-crypto. Check out this post from Nate Karachi, president of the ETF store. He's staying cool as ever. Here's what he had to say. SEC delays several decisions today on spot XRP, Doge ETFs, staking, and ETH ETFs. Nothing to see here, in my opinion. Still think all will be approved. It's clear that those in the know aren't sweating it, and I'm inclined to align with their confidence. This isn't just about messaging, it's about real actions coming from the top levels of leadership. Fear just doesn't fit the narrative here. And for XRP holders, here's something exciting: an infographic shared by XRP community legend XRP Crow. He's pointing out that 11 firms have filed for various XRP ETFs, a record-breaking number for any altcoin ETF in US history. The closest competitor, Solana, with 6 or 7 filings if memory serves. But the buzz around XRP is undeniable. We've backed a winner here, no question about it. Here's a headline from Cointelegraph that should give you even more confidence. Paul Atkins: crypto markets have been languishing in SEC limbo. Let's just say XRP is standing out where others are stuck. If Gensler were still in charge, you probably wouldn't have seen this shift. In one of his first speeches as chair of the US Securities and Exchange Commission since taking the helm in April, Paul Atkins tackled the future of crypto regulation. Speaking on May 19th, Atkins addressed long-standing concerns in the crypto industry, signaling a fresh approach under his leadership. It's a new day for crypto, Atkins stated, emphasizing the SEC's willingness to embrace innovation while staying true to its regulatory framework. For years, crypto markets have been stuck in regulatory limbo, he noted, but change is on the horizon. Atkins revealed he's directed his team to begin drafting new rules for the industry. While the staff are pushing forward with policy proposals, they're also clearing the brush through interim guidance, he added. Change might not happen overnight, but the message is clear. Crypto may finally be breaking free from the SEC's gridlock. Long before Atkins took the reins as SEC chair, the commission's actions under Donald Trump hinted at a dramatic shift away from the path charted by former chair Gary Gensler. By 2025, the SEC had already dropped multiple investigations into crypto firms, pulled back enforcement efforts, and even issued new guidance on meme coins and security tokens. Atkins himself had this to say: as I begin my tenure as chairman, I can tell you that we are getting back to our roots of promoting rather than stifling innovation. The markets innovate, and the SEC should not be in the business of telling them to stand still. Now, does that sound like someone about to crush our financial ambitions? Nope, not a chance. I'm betting big on this guy. Isn't this exactly what you'd expect, knowing what Trump wants? If Atkins is truly aligning with him here, don't you think Trump might avoid nominating him altogether? Honestly, I think we're in the clear, folks. It's going to be fine. I get the frustration, though. If you're feeling uneasy, I respect that. But me, I'm not worried, not even a little. That approval is happening, no doubt about it. Now, switching gears, BitMEX is stirring up the crypto world with a cryptic announcement about Ripple and XRP. The community is buzzing. Let me keep this short. But here's the deal. BitMEX, one of the top crypto exchanges since 2014, yep, confirmed, just dropped a teaser that has everyone talking. On May 17th, BitMEX dropped a cryptic teaser. Keep your eyes peeled. We've got news that's going to stir up the market. And guess what? They even tagged Ripple, the company. Naturally, the crypto world went into overdrive. Speculation ran wild. Could Ripple be buying BitMEX? Maybe they're teaming up as an ODL partner to push XRP as a bridge currency. Or here's a fun one. What if BitMEX was gearing up to platform Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin? For me, the smart money was on the RLUSD edition, and bingo, that's exactly what it turned out to be. Check out their post. It's just a 4-second clip. Simple as that. BitMEX Ripple USD, boom, RLUSD. That's it. But hey, it worked because here we are talking about it. Honestly, props to them. Here's why I had to dive into this. That one post, it pulled in 826,000 views. Wild, right? Especially when they've got just 171,000 followers for an exchange that's impressive. It's not even like it's a crazy reveal. It's just RLUSD, but man, people took notice. They're closing in on 1 million views for one little post. I talk about effective marketing, and you know what? RLUSD has only been around since December, and it's already gaining serious traction. I'm really rooting for Ripple to pull off the purchase of Circle, the company behind USDC. As I mentioned yesterday in my video, they're literally in a bidding war with Coinbase right now. It's wild to watch. But here's the thing. If Ripple wins, it could be a huge win for XRP holders, and I've laid out why before. Now, here's another big update. According to the block, XRP futures crushed it on their first day of trading on CME Group, raking in $19 million and outperforming Solana's launch. Let that sink in. Outperforming Solana. And the momentum doesn't stop there. Way more firms are eyeing XRP spot ETFs compared to Solana ETFs. The trend is loud and clear. The interest in XRP is surging, and it's impossible to ignore. And for good reason, I might add. Look, I've covered this pretty thoroughly in other videos, everything that's led up to this moment. But now that it's live, I want to share something with you. The numbers from just one day. Let's be honest, that's a solid figure for day one. Oh, and here's something else. Did you know there's actually an XRP ETF in the US? It's not a spot ETF though. It's a leveraged one. Kind of surprising, right? Normally you'd expect a spot ETF to come first. Here's the kicker. The firm behind it, 2Crim, absolutely nailed it with this launch. Even though it's not a spot ETF, which usually draws more interest, it still became one of the top 5% ETF launches in history. How incredible is that? Picture this. The spot ETF gets approved. Exciting, right? The momentum in the crypto space is undeniable, and the interest keeps growing. We're lucky to have made some smart moves, and one of those was backing XRP, a true standout in the crypto world. It's an early leader, and now we're just sitting back, waiting for the rest of the world to catch on, and they are. Case in point, XRP was sitting at 49 cents just 6 months ago, and now it's soared past $2.00. As I record this, it's holding steady a bit above that, but honestly, I don't think this rocket has reached its peak yet. I believe it's heading into uncharted territory this market cycle, and price discovery is just around the corner. It's a thrilling time to be part of this journey as an XRP holder. Quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't make any financial moves based on what I say here. That would be a really bad idea. Always do your own research.